And good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is David Boles Live. Check. This is our thing now. Yes. We are live. Barely, because we just had a tremendous sneezing fit before we went live. Lots of Kleenex was involved. Good thing we do our neti pot. Something in the air. And we don't know what it is. But we hope it doesn't attack us again. So I'm wearing my West Side Barbell t-shirt today. Friends in Ohio have a wonderful gym, wonderful products. Check them out. It's printed on the front and back. You'll see when I leave for a break, a blood pressure break. West Side Barbell is front and back. Now, I would have printed the back reversed, so you were like seeing through it, but I guess they care more about their intimate branding and they want it to be read non-mirrored front and back, which is perfectly fine. Big news. Grainless granola back in stock at Trader Joe's, courtesy of the lovely and talented Jana Marie Sweeney. She often goes and checks just to see if they have any, because she knows this is our favorite. And it's just amazing. Hard to find. Harder not to eat. Vegan. Absolutely delicious. Lots of nuts. Super healthy. Day is made. And on the way to work today, the lovely Jana Marie sent me an interesting photograph that has to do with our current time and space and relevance. I'll show it to you right now. Now, isn't that interesting? The New York subway. These lovely signs. You're required on the MTA and the PATH and the trains, public transportation in New York City and New York State to wear a mask. Even if you're vaccinated, you wear a mask. And I would say probably 90% of the people play along and do wear their mask because they know what happens if you don't, which has nothing to do with the law and everything to do with their health. So this is what it looks like when somebody decides they know more than the doctors and the scientists. They take a marker to a lovely informational public service drawing and change the meaning of it. A mask, it's a sign of respect, which is what it originally said, and then someone smart decided to go on there and cross out respect and write in mind control. Now, I find that a little bit weird for New York City because New York City tends not to be nutty in an unsafe way. Sometimes they're nutty in a political way, but most people who live in New York know that masks work and they are necessary, especially when we're all crowded together on a subway train. So Janet took that picture, sent it to me, said, hey, put this on the live stream from me, what I found today. So is this graffiti? Is this a political statement? Probably a little bit of both. Unfortunate, though. However, New York City is an interesting place to live. And if one person attacks you from one side, another person will stand up and defend you from the other. And in the same train car, on the subway, Jana Marie also found this image. Everyone smiles when you wear a mask, I believe is what it says. Stop the spread, wear a mask. With this lovely drawing. And you think that this is the same drawing as this one right here. Look in the lower right-hand corner. But this little character has an eyebrow, black eyes, and a hairstyle. This one, in the same train car, different, bald, different eyebrows, different eyes. Not the same thing. So they're close to being opposites and influencing each other, but not really. And here's what this says. Somebody put a sticker on this one. Remember to get vaccinated. Otherwise, a vaccinated person might get sick from the virus they got vaccinated against because you're not vaccinated. And that is how you make other people ill. Very true. Vaccinated people can carry the virus to other people. And those other people might be very young children or people who are immunocompromised and are not able to get the shot because the shot will really scientifically destroy them. So keep that in mind. Little politics, little public service, all on the way to work today. Now, as you can see, interesting when you're streaming is you sit down and you make sure you can see west side, the microphone's right, the guitars are lit up, yeah. But you also get some feedback, whether you like it or not, on how you look. And we have a new camera that I like a lot, the Elgato Face Cam. Picks up colors better, gives us a wider range of view, it's good for sign language. Smooths out some of the ugly lines in your face. But it's also very specific because we have a lot of hot lights on here, right? These are our LED lights. Turn off the LED lights. Okay, turn the LED lights back on. The face kind of smooths out a little bit better. But what I noticed this morning is the hair right here is not pleasing me because as we've discussed, I have like 5 different cowlicks. So the light this morning is making me look particularly hairless. Right there, that angle, right there. Don't put your head in that angle. Because what you're seeing is not pretty. Now, if I tilt my head back just a little bit, okay, we get a little bit of shadow. You don't look quite as bald. And as you can see, there's more gray than there should be. I tell my hairstylist, please, when you cut my hair, cut out the gray and leave the brown. And this is the result I'm getting. So as the hair grows, and we're in week 6 of it growing out again, it will get better. I will look better. We'll do a little more styling. But for now, we try not to look at that particular angle in that hairline. And another thing. Oh, Dora's here. Yay! Good morning. Happy pre-Thanksgiving. Hello, Dora. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. We're going to have a very special show tomorrow. And yes, we are on the air live tomorrow. And we are on all American holidays because we have learned through our many years of writing and publishing and broadcasting is that even when people are off in America, sometimes they like to watch you, but the rest of the world isn't really celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow. So if they're used to seeing you at 9 a.m. Eastern, you better show up at 9 a.m. Eastern and say something. So we're having a special Thanksgiving show tomorrow. These are some of my notes. And the title of a special segment that we're going to do is starring Jana Marie and yours truly, if we can get there. We have to practice. And we're practicing tonight and tomorrow. There's a lot of prep to see if this will work. But we're calling it Magic ASL New York City Thanksgiving. So it'll be the two of us together, a little bit of ASL, a little bit of voice interpreting, a little bit of eating, a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of sharing, a little bit of communing, a little more of fun, a little more Thanksgiving. We'll see if it works. And if you're not able to join us live tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern on Boles.tv, you can watch the video on demand replay. However, you do need to be a subscriber to this channel to watch our video on demand. That's just the way Twitch works their affiliate system, and I understand it. And you can subscribe for free if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber. Do it a month at a time. Or you can purchase a subscription for yourself or someone else, and then you have access to our chat. You can send really interesting emotes. Let me see if I can send a new emote that we have here. Oh, I can't share my own channel. Whatever that means. I'm new here. Let me see if I am. What can I do? Okay, here's a special emote that we have. Set up for subscribers. Okay, did that work? I don't think that worked. Okay, I think it did. All right, so I'll send this emote. So, 2 crazy pictures of me. All right, there are other emotes. What's another one? Here's a lovely love. Okay, cute. So you can add that to your message. You can say, hi there. I'm here. And then you click on the little emote thing. And then you click on the little emote thing. And then you click on the little emote thing. I don't know where they are. They're not showing up. My emotes. Okay, my emotes. Ah, here we go. Okay, I think that's right. Channel emotes is what they're called. Here's another one. Jana screaming. So this is called fun. And you can watch video on demand replays as much as you like if you are a subscriber to this channel. And we hope you will become a subscriber because subscribers help us grow and become more important, and then we can really move up in the Twitch world and increase our streaming capacity. We can go high definition instead of 720p. We can be 1080p, which is going to look sharper and crisper and give us more definition when we do some sign languaging and some other teaching and some other sharing. So other than always having to look at your hair in a live stream, you also get feedback that you don't normally get in your real life. Sometimes when I'm speaking with people, let's say a wife, a lovely wife, and she gives you some feedback and says, "Why are you making that stupid face?" And you say, in a conversation, "What stupid face? This is my face. I don't know what you're talking about. That face, that ugly face." So you go and look in the mirror, and you look in the mirror, and they say, "Oh, I don't see any face that I'm making. Maybe I'm a little old. Maybe my hair's out of place with my cowlicks, but what face are you talking about? I have no idea." And then you live stream a couple of hours each weekday. And you go back and see what things worked and what didn't work, if the guitars are in the shot, if your microphone is blocking you. And then you happen upon instances where you see your own face. And you're making a face. And you suddenly realize, oh, that's the face she's talking about. And then the next time you're in a conversation with let's say, your lovely wife, and you're having a conversation, and then you make a face, "What?" And she says, "Ah." And in your mind, you're thinking, "Oh, I just saw it today in the live stream replay, and I just did it now live with my beautiful and talented, let's say, wife." It's a hard lesson to look at your face, your ugly face, your expressionful face, and realize, oh, there's something wrong here. Fix it. Is it biofeedback? Live stream feedback? Is that what we're calling it? Anyway, it's an interesting moment when you realize that your live stream affects your real life. So in other interesting news, we had something happen yesterday, and this is fine. It's not a big deal. But what happened after is the big deal. Someone we know very well and close to us, who may or may not be a wife critical of your facial expression at times. That person may or may not have lost their wallet yesterday in New York City near Trader Joe's, let's say, hypothetically. And let's say that there was an American Express card that happened to be theoretically lost in that wallet loss. And to jump to the end of the story, the wallet was found by a lovely person who theoretically called me and said, "Hey, I found this wallet." And she tracked us down because she tracked the theoretical person down because she found a Whitney Museum card, went to the local Whitney outpost, said, "Hey, I found this wallet. Could you give me their phone number so I can call them until they have the wallet?" Now, I don't know why the Whitney gave this stranger our phone number, but I'm glad they did because she called and said, "I have your wallet." And by the time she got in touch with us, she said, "Yeah, it was near Trader Joe's on the street. We had already canceled everything." So we just said, "Thank you so much. We will repay you, but for now, please destroy everything you have and throw it away." And she said, "Okay, fine. I understand." Because it's very hard. New York's a big place, so trying to find people, track them down when you're working, it's very hard. So now this is where it gets interesting. And we're not talking about people anymore or what happened. We're talking about what happens after you lose a card. Well, you want to cancel it as soon as possible. So let's say that I logged on to an American Express account that I may or may not own, and I was able to get someone's American Express card canceled. Okay, so we're safe. And I theoretically checked charges, no strange charges, no one found our card and put charges on there, which is always a fear. It didn't happen. Great. Okay, so now what? Well, it just so happens that that card was tied to a transportation idea that I'm going to share with you next. It's a little bit complicated, so I have to set this up right. And I was trying to think, how are we going to get this person home with that particular credit card now canceled? Because it was tied to this person's theoretical New York City transportation. Well, it turns out, and I don't know if all credit cards are this way, but American Express almost immediately said, we received your cancellation request. Your new card is being sent to you. It will arrive very soon. And because you have our American Express card in your Apple Wallet, this alleged person had in her Apple Wallet, we've updated your Apple Wallet with your new card information. So continue to use that card as you have been using it. Wow. Maybe we don't have a transportation problem after all. So we were holding thumbs about that, theoretically. And then I just kind of went into my account to see if I had to change anything for someone else's account. And I'll show you what's happening and why. And this is all part of the Apple world. So this is my wallet, my Apple wallet on my Apple iPhone. Now maybe you have a different kind of phone, it works differently, but this is how my wallet looks. These are some of the credit cards that I have. I don't have all the credit cards in Apple because many of these are all American Express. Because they're very tech savvy and they love the Apple Wallet, okay? So these are my cards. Okay, so that's what a card looks like in your Apple Wallet. And that let's say, gold card, canceled. A physical card is being sent as a replacement, but that card you're looking at has now changed all of its information, expiration dates, and card number magically. We didn't have to do anything. American Express did it all on their end. Then you go into your iPhone settings. And you go down to Wallet. Okay, click on Wallet. So I've clicked on Wallet. This is where you're seeing on my phone. Double-click side button to pay. Hide expired passes. Boom. Transit cards right in the middle. Express Transit card. For me, it's my business green card. They used to have the platinum card. Then they raised the fee ridiculously. And because of COVID, we're not traveling. I don't find the value in it anymore. But they said, oh, no. The platinum card is a lifestyle card. It's not a travel card anymore. Okay. I'll save the $500, thank you, annual fees. So, I've said, and this does not work everywhere. It only works in certain systems. So this is New York City specific. Okay? Business green card will work automatically without requiring authentication to pay for transit. Now, that's very interesting. So if you set up a card, it can be any card, it doesn't have to be American Express. You can use that card to pay for your transportation. And you don't have to put in a PIN code. You don't have to have your face verified. If it's set up as a transit card, and here's the next page, you click on set up your transit card and you pick what card you want to use for your transit. So you can flip it around. You want to use this. That's the card you want to use, okay? The card you select will automatically work without requiring Face ID or your passcode. Just hold your phone near a supported transit turnstile thing, and you can get in. And New York City now has this transit system in place. Fabulous. And this is the system that they use. Omni. This is New York City Omni. And I can't remember what Omni means. It's a one something New York. And this is how it works. You can set up your account online, and then you can also set up your credit card, in our case, American Express, to pay for your transportation. Right now, it's just single pay. One trip. You don't get 30-day passes, you don't get 7-day passes, just one thing. You can buy a contactless card in drugstores, limited right now in New York City. And this is where it gets really interesting. Oh no, the contactless card is your credit card. So if you set up let's say your American Express card to be your travel card, that credit card is tappable on the turnstile. Bing, go in. Okay, that's one thing, credit card. You can also buy, all the way onto the right, an Omni card that you can load up like a regular card and tap that. Those are not readily available yet, but they will be. But the most interesting one is the digital wallet, the one right in the middle. Tap your smart device. Now, if you happen to have an Apple Watch, I do, and so does Jana Marie, although we have not named her in this story, so she's completely innocent of all indicated charges. Or your phone. They work together, either one. You decide. When you set up that travel card on your iPhone, it also puts it on your Apple Watch, okay? Everything's talking to each other in this new world. And when you want to get on the subway system, instead of sliding those awful MTA yellow arrow cards, you just tap your watch. Or you just tap your phone, you go in. It's fast. No delay. Faster than swiping. If you have your credit card, you can tap that. If you have an Omni card, you can tap that. And if you have used your Apple Watch to pay for things in the past, like at a grocery store or a pharmacy, you know that you have to double-click on the side, then the credit card comes up. I'll show you right now. I'll double-click. Ding, ding. Not working? Ding, ding. It says now playing. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's because I'm not near a reader. Okay, I double-tapped. Here. Do you see this? Can you see this? Okay, so I double tap. I hold near the reader. That's another American Express card that I use for payments. And I hold this near a reader. And it pays. And people are always shocked by that. However, with this transit card thing, you don't have to double tap. Wait, is it showing on me? I'm going to show you. It's not here. You don't have to do any of that. The turnstile machine system reads your Apple Watch, obviously through Bluetooth. Tap. Go in. Thank you, Dora. I appreciate your support. Oh. Yes, a kind person found our wallet. And Jenny is somewhere, although she's not saying anything, so we don't know if she's in hiding or if she's trying to avoid this conversation. And the person who called and left a message, their first language, I would say, was not English. So it was very slow, very specific, and I called back and they said where to meet them, and then, we told them just, it's been enough time, just throw it all away. So we were very, very, very fortunate that this person was so kind to not just pick up her wallet and, take care of it, or she tracked us down through the museum. Oh, Jan is here. She's listening, finding everything. We're glad you're here. I want to type back Jana Marie. We are glad you're here, love. We are glad you're here, Jana Marie. Yay. None of this story is about you. Okay. We'll see. So it's so wonderful with this transit system thing in New York City. Just tap. Oh, Jana Marie speaking. I used Apple Watch this morning. Easy to use. Yes, that was a kind person. And what was amazing is, let's say, the Jana Marie, let's say, had an American Express card replaced in her digital Apple Wallet at 1 o'clock and was able to get home at 4 o'clock by tapping her watch and coming home and having no problem whatsoever. Now, that's the magic of technology. That's really wonderful. And she doesn't have to tap a button. She can just tap her phone. If she theoretically still had her credit card, she could just tap that. Go. Boom. So that's where technology has led us, and it's really quite wonderful. Omni, I wish I could remember what this means. It won something New York. And subway bus rolls out. Oh, this is everything that's going on. Digital experience, expanded fare options. Oh, that's interesting. Fare options, reduced fares, student fares. Okay, I don't think any of that's been implemented yet, but they're trying. The app is not yet available, but I like it that it's on Android. A lot of my friends are on Android, including the lovely artist Dora. And it's just wonderful. Maybe we'll watch this little commercial. Let's see what this says.
Hello, New York, and welcome to Omni. Omni is your new way to pay fares quickly and easily. We're bringing Omni to all MTA buses, subway lines, and commuter rail lines over the next few years. With Omni, you can use your own contactless card, smartphone, or wearable. Just tap your card or device on the reader and go. You don't need to buy anything in advance. You can learn more about how to use Omni by watching our tutorial series. You can find out when Omni is coming to your favorite locations by watching our Omni update videos or by going to our website at omni.info.
Okay, well that's definitely a lot of fun. Omni New York. Now here's the really neat thing is, if you're in the PATH system, which is another train system that is New York and New Jersey, and you go back and forth if you live in New Jersey, PATH is really wonderful. PATH are in the process of updating all their turnstiles because you have a PATH card that you tap and you go through. But it's not part of this Omni system yet, but it's coming supposedly next year. We'll see. That will be so great where you can just tap to go on the PATH, tapped on the subway, blah, 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 go to Trader Joe's, get grainless granola, come back, tap, subway, tap, PATH, boom, home. And on your credit card statement, if you have the app, it says 250 subway, 250 subway. It's amazing technology. So this, we talk about artificial intelligence and being tracked and privacy, and this is an example of technology making your life easier and technology getting you out of a jam where you lose your wallet. And how am I going to get home? I lost my wallet. Now I could go beg for money. I can ask a friend. I can go to strangers. Well, maybe I'll just go on American Express and tell them I lost my card, and they'll replace it magically within 10 minutes and say, okay, you have a new card, so go ahead and, use it on your iPhone and your watch. Go ahead and get home. And in 2 weeks, you get the stupid physical card that nobody even wants anymore. So that's the story. Now we're going to take a very brief break, come back and talk about a little more interesting things. And interesting, as I said yesterday, is a word for FU. I don't mean interesting in that context. I mean interesting in more of a sad and interesting way, but not a depressive way. It's all about life and how we know what we value and how we get along with each other. Blood pressure break. We'll be back in just a moment. back from break. And we're showing you the backside of my West Side barbell shirt. If you're in the t-shirt business, printing front and back is very expensive. It's almost twice as expensive to print on the back as it is to print on the front. And I guess it's because you have to wait for the front to dry before you can print on the back. So speaking of technology, on the break I realized I wanted to show you one more thing. This is not about Omni or subways or public transportation. This is about healthcare, which goes back to our mask graffiti that we shared with you at the start of this stream, provided by Jana Marie. I'm going to show you Docket. Docket is an app that allows you... Can't really see it. Let me see if I can turn down the brightness. Maybe that will help. That allows you to share your... That's better. That allows you to share your COVID vaccine information. Now, some people are against it. I'm 100% for it. I want travel papers. I want to be able to go where I want to go. Show me your papers, please. But of course. Well, in New Jersey, and I believe the other state is Utah, believe it or not, this Docket app, and New York State has their own app, the Empire something, where you can prove your status. But this, you pull down to refresh, and it refreshes your immunization records. Oh, and it's telling me to check your Docket app for new immunization search results. And what that is you click on it, and it shows you when you had your COVID-19 shots. First two, shot 1, shot 2, and the third one, they just updated it. That's why they're telling me to check my thing. That's the booster shot. So you can now prove who you are when it comes to your health, and there's a QR code that can be scanned. That's the QR code. So if you're going somewhere, they want to scan you, they can scan the Smart Health card. Eventually, you'll click on that, and it will go into your Apple Wallet. And that's neat, too. And then if you need to, you can click on this share button right here. And it's creating a PDF. And this PDF has the official logo and seal of the state of New Jersey, along with all the necessary identifying information for your vaccine. Now that's another wonder of technology that makes things much easier for you than if you have to carry around a paper thing. Where's my paper thing? Then to carry around one of these in the plastic thing, hoping it won't get rained on or everyone can read your pharmacist's handwriting. Well, this just makes it easier. You just have this in your pocket, you run around, hey, here you go. We need a PDF, I'll email it to you. So that's very helpful. And I don't know what's taking so long to download my PDF, but at least it's getting done, I guess. So I guess we'll just see if that ever shows up. Ah! Thank you for the follow, Husted Hubbard. Dangerous cold front coming in. State of New Jersey just told me. We're working to expand this live stream as best we can. So speaking of coronavirus and COVID-19, we were really devastated in the theatrical community by COVID-19. Because Broadway was shut down, professional theater was shut down, regional theaters were shut down, community theaters were shut down because you could not have big gatherings of people. On Broadway, you have 2,000 people in the same room, all breathing the same air. You have actors on stage projecting to the back of the balcony, breathing over everybody. And a lot of regional theaters, who rely on subscriptions, had to cancel their seasons So what happens? Well, people donate money. They tried to have outdoor parking lot theatrical events, which was very interesting. You go to a community theater and they would have popcorn night, and they give you popcorn. You'd stay in your car, roll down the window, and then like on the lawn of the theater complex, you'd have an actor or two come out and they would do, a little show, a little scene. They'd act out together. And you'd donate money in order to try to save the theater from dying. Some theaters, when they slowly started to reopen, restricted audiences, they would do one-person shows with heavy amplification, so the person would be far on stage by themselves, no other actors, no mask, amplification so they wouldn't be, yelling to breathe over everybody. But that isn't really the theatrical experience anybody wants. So just briefly, the Theater Communications Group, TCG, came out with a report yesterday documenting the devastation in the American theater in 2020. And they're trying to put a good spin on it. And we're not going to look at all of this. I'm just going to scroll through this so you can see that it's a very long 29-page report talking about the demise of not-for-profit theaters in America. And it's filled with data points, and everything's going down in 2020. The trend is not good. And so here's the summary that I just kind of put together of what that report says. Average 5-year earned income rose annually, then fell in 2020, resulting in a 5-year decrease exceeding inflation by 13%. Average single-ticket income was 33% lower in 2020 than in 2016, 40% lower than 2019. And subscription income fell by 29% over the period, with a 5-year high in 2019. It's devastating. All levels of government support were at their 5-year peak in 2020, which is very good, with perhaps some growth explained by COVID-19 relief funding. Absolutely. And some, wealthy people who were doing all right stepped up and gave some theaters operating expenses. But the hard part was Broadway, with these Broadway people who, they're young and beautiful, and especially if they're a dancer, they have a very limited career. And to basically lose 2 years of your career as a dancer means $200,000 in lost income. These dancers, good dancers, can make $100,000 a year just by being on Broadway stage. They don't have to necessarily go on tour to make the big money, which is where a lot of actors do go to try to get a little bit of retirement money saved. They go on the road. So a lot of people lost 2 years of their careers to this terrible COVID. Average contributed income from other individuals, non-trustees, grew 40% over the 5-year period, including a 37% increase from 2019. That's very good. People tried to step up and just give money to keep the theater alive. The average theater budget size shrank by 12% from 2019 to 2020. Expected, right? A lot of people got fired. The biggest shift was a 2020 cut in general management and personnel expenses, which was nearly half of its 2019 level. Working capital improved to a 5-year high in 2020. Over half the theaters in 2016 had negative working capital, dropping to 39% of theaters in 2020. So it's really dismal. We hope that things will get better this year, but I'm not so sure. We have a long, difficult way to go before the theater, especially Broadway, recovers from this terrible, terrible worldwide infection of COVID-19. So, get a booster. Wear your mask. As Dr. Fauci said, soon, getting a booster is going to be part of the regimen. It's shot 1, shot 2, and then get a booster 6 months later, and then you are considered protected and covered. So now we take another step into the life of people who are very talented and who may be troubled and have a hard time. And sometimes you don't know that they're troubled or that they're having a hard time until it's too late and nothing can be done about it. So many years ago, about 40 years ago, when I was a high school student, I decided that I wanted to write and produce and direct a television show about kids in high school. Not a documentary, invented dialogue. And so I, in an effort to get there, I wrote 8 episodes of what became known as the Westboro Crusaders. And then I decided that I wanted to direct and shoot a couple of these episodes. Now, if I had been a little bit smarter and had a little bit more money, I would have done all 8 episodes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For some reason, I decided I wanted to film episodes 4 and episodes 8, which never really made any sense to anybody, including me, except that they were kind of, I thought, the most dramatic and the most interesting. But you really weren't able to set up the people, the characters, because episodes are supposed to kind of flow into each other. And the local Cablevision, and at that time, they were the cable provider in Lincoln, Nebraska, was starting up, and they were looking for public service shows to air. And some people would just do talk shows. They were required by the FCC to have public programming, just as many stations, commercial stations, were required to have programming specifically for children. Then cable television came and all of that exploded, and the FCC just got out of the business of forcing stations, cable or broadcast, to have certain kinds of programming. But there was an opportunity there in Lincoln, Nebraska in the 1980s to get on the air and use their facilities and their equipment and their editing bays to do something. So I went to Cablevision and I said, hey, I would like to do a couple of these shows. What do you think? They said, great. Do it. I said, really? They said, of course. You can use our equipment in studio. You can use our portable equipment. You can edit it. Do whatever you want to do. Wow. So I got a hold of Greg Kubicek, my best friend in movies and television in Lincoln, Nebraska. He agreed to be my cinematographer. And because he was old enough, a couple of years older than me, he was allowed to check out the portable equipment from Cablevision, and I was not, because I think I was 16 and he was 18. So that meant I had to go pick up Greg in South Lincoln, about a 30-minute drive. Then we would drive back to Cablevision, which was in my neighborhood in Northeast Lincoln. So it was 30 minutes to pick up Greg, 30 minutes, go pick up the equipment early in the morning, and then we would do that on shooting days. Then we would go on set and set up the equipment, which was very nice and expensive equipment, and shoot the show. And because we were on location, we were shooting, a scene a day for a summer. And Greg could not film on Sundays because he was Roman Catholic, and that was the Lord's Day. So even though everyone else was not working on Sundays, the best day, Greg was not available. And then later he did become available, but only after he went to church, which was like 11:30, 12 o'clock, noon. Okay, so we had half a day of shooting. Fine. And so in the process, we filmed on location many places in Lincoln, Nebraska. Filmed inside of Northeast High School. We would just show up and start shooting someplace. You could never do anything like that today that we did back then. We didn't ask for permission. We just showed up and started shooting. And people at that time didn't know what a video camera was or what you're doing, or they thought we were with the news, so they didn't bother us. And I don't even think we asked permission to shoot in the high schools. We just went in and went up to an empty floor because it was the summer and it was hot and nobody was working, and we just shot the movie. And one of the people who was in my show, the Westboro Crusaders, which I'm going to show you an episode of a little bit later in today's show, his name was Jamie Musak. And I wrote an article about him in 2009. Jamie is the guy in the back. He has a cast on his arm. And we put that cast on his arm because it was part of his character. He was a wild and crazy kind of character. And I remember we found a doctor in downtown Lincoln. We just walked into his office and said, look, we're theater kids. We're doing this show, and one of these characters has a broken arm. How much would you charge us for a broken arm for a cast? And the guy said, I'm a doctor. I don't put casts on healthy arms. And we said, yeah, but this is for TV. This is pretend. We would like it done right. We could do it ourselves if you could tell us how to do it, but we okay, I'll do it. And he did. He put a wonderful plaster cast on Jamie's arm, and we all signed it. And then after a day or two, Jamie cut the cast off so he could take it on and off, put on, had shoelaces that he would tie it together with. It was great. It looked fine. He did not want to wear a cast all summer because his arm was not broken. I would have preferred that he just wear the cast, but he didn't want to do it. And so for this summer, we all worked very hard together. And when you work on these TV shows and these theatrical shows, everyone comes together in a blizzard and a blaze, and you're all best friends. And then 3 months later, it's all over, and you never see each other again. And it's really a devastating thing because you come very close, very intimate, very fast, and then it's over. And you don't see each other anymore. And you call, you try to stay in touch. Now, it'd probably be easier today with the internet because when people disperse, they don't have to be in the same location to stay in touch. It's easier to do. But a lot of friendships that were made and solidified just kind of disappear. And every once in a while, I would see Jamie. We were both students at University of Nebraska, Lincoln. And Jamie was in the marching band, played drums. He was a drummer in high school. And I was taking some jazz class at UNL, and it was an early morning, 7 a.m. class. I loved the music. We used the Smithsonian something jazz archive was our textbook, and it was a series of like 25 cassette tapes that we had to listen to at home. And I didn't do well because you had to... The tests were, we're going to play a segment of a jazz song, and you tell us the name of the song and who's singing the song. I found it very difficult because it all kind of blended together to my ear. And I did not do great in that class, but the teacher was terrific. He was a jazz musician, piano in the music department, a big hall, and there was a piano in front. He would sit there and play all these songs for us every day. It was wonderful entertainment. So Jamie and I bumped it because Jamie lived in the music department. And so he saw me sitting in there looking miserable, sitting in the front row. And he would come down, he'd sit with me and chat with me for like 10, 20 minutes, and we'd talk about stuff and talk about drumming and talk about what we were doing. And it was always great to see him. He was always so full of life and happiness. And then the teacher would come in and look at Jamie and like, what are you doing here? And then Jamie would go, and he would leave, and I'd say, see you later. And then next week he'd show up and sit down and we'd chat for him. And then, years later, you find out that Jamie decided that he had enough of this life. And he took his life. And you just wonder, well, I wonder if there's anything I could have done if he had come to me or if we had bumped into each other. And he had told me how he was feeling. And you wonder if there's some way that you could have convinced him not to do it. But if you believe that your life belongs in your hands and the hands of no other person, then it's sort of hard to say, well, You've had enough of this, and you're done. But think of your friends and think of your family. So I wrote this memory of Jamie, and I was very proud of it. And then his sister contacted me and told me to take it down, and who do you think you are, and what if my parents read this? And I replied to her and said Jamie was my friend too. He was your brother, he was my friend. And we spent a lot of time together, and I'm mourning him, and I am trying to wonder why this happened. Because he was very talented and very unique and very special. And I don't think your parents would be upset with me for that. And she left me alone. Now we get into a little bit of a stranger part of all of this. There's Jamie upside down on the stairs at Northeast High School. Now, this is everyone who was in the cast. And I wish I had a bigger photograph of this. I do somewhere written in here. And they were all kind of fun, talented, terrific people. This guy here on the right was one of our heroes. His real name is Kevin. And it was so funny, maybe 10 years after we had filmed Westboro Crusaders, we hadn't seen each other. And he was in a store, and I was in the same store, and we kind of looked at each other. And he recognized me, and I recognized him. And he looked down, and I looked down. And I looked up at him, and he looked up at me, and he looked down, and I looked down. And then we just kind of left. We didn't go up and say hello to each other. We didn't say what's up, or I guess we were waiting for the other one to approach the other one. And that's why people don't understand people from the Midwest, because that is very, very strange behavior anywhere else but the cold Midwest. And if you're from the Midwest, you understand exactly what happened and why. And if you're not from the Midwest, you're probably never going to understand that. It's just a weird thing. But the person in the very, very back, right behind Jamie, leaning over with the mustache, that is Oscar Long. Okay? Oscar looks very old there, but he was our age. Wonderful actor, interesting actor. Okay? He was in the Westboro Crusaders, best friends with Greg Kubicek. That's how we got Oscar, because Greg asked him and he said, okay, I will. And then after moving to New York City, I learned from Greg and some other people that Oscar had gone missing. 5 years ago, this was written in 2014, in 2009, I wrote my Jamie Muzak article that he was gone. And now, in 2014, Oscar Long went missing in New York City. And I said, when I was told about this, what do you mean missing? How can, this is a photograph of Oscar. I said, what do you mean missing? How does a person go missing in New York City? Oscar, what do you mean? And I guess he was having personal problems. Some people think it was financial problems, that he owed people money. The rumor was he owed somebody $50,000 and they were like with the mafia or something weird. Somebody saw him talking to somebody in a park. And then Oscar disappeared. And I said, you mean you think he was murdered by the mafia? They said, no, they think that he ran away. And I said, but why would he run away? I mean, $50,000, let's be frank, is not a lot of money in New York City. As they say in Fargo, it's a little bit of money. All this murder, she says in Fargo, for a little bit of money. And I know that the mafia people would not kill somebody for $50,000 because They want you alive. Now, they might hurt you or break a thumb or whatever, take a finger, I don't know. But they're not going to kill you for $50,000 because if you're dead, they're never going to get the money back. And they're not going to go after your wife and kid because that goes against what they do because they don't owe the money, you owe the money. So I know that he wasn't killed for money, which some people believe he was. Other people who really seem to know him well, I did not even know Oscar was in New York because, see, that's that weird thing with Kevin and me in the Atrium shopping mall. Nobody raises their hand. Hey, Kev. Hey, Dave. Hey, it's been 10 years. Yeah, Kev. Hey, how you doing? Great. Hey, let's get together. Okay, let's get together right now. Okay. Oh, Dora loves Fargo. I do too. My favorite quote. It ends the movie. For a little bit of money. And I love the way she says it too. It's just beautiful. And everything's over a little bit of money. So Oscar's in New York. I didn't know Oscar was in New York. Oscar knew I was in New York because I was a Colombian. Now, did Oscar say, hey, Dave, I'm in New York. Hey, Oscar, I'm in New York. Let's get together, Oscar. Okay. No. You don't do that if you're from the Midwest. You don't make the first move. And even if someone makes a move on you, you just... It's a weird thing. It doesn't make any sense. I fight against it. And sometimes I find my DNA, I cannot crack it. I cannot raise my hand to say hello or to pick up a phone or to meet in person. It's very difficult. So Oscar, 45 years old, disappears from the face of the earth. And someone who knows him really, 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 really well thinks that Oscar was just in despair and depressed for a very long time. And that he took a train somewhere and just walked into the wilderness and died. And I said, Brian, how could that be? Why? Why would Oscar do that? He said, well, I guess he was just very depressed. He had given up on life. He knew there was no way he would ever be able to repay $50,000. He doesn't think that Oscar's wife knew any of this. Oscar had been hiding bills and running up credit cards, and he had no way out. And so he decided to just walk into the wilderness and die of starvation and get eaten by animals or kill himself. It's devastating. And again, like Jamie Musak, I think, my gosh, what if Oscar and I had, known each other? And I had seen him. What if I could have talked to him? I would have knocked some sense into him if I knew that this was going on. I say, Oscar, $50,000 in New York City is nothing. You can pay this off. You can work it out. It's not the end of the world. If you owe $50,000 on credit cards or something like that, there are ways around that. You can get financial help. You can file for bankruptcy if you have to. And I know it's shameful and it will hurt your heart. And you will be embarrassed because you're from the Midwest, but it's okay. People make mistakes. But don't make the mistake of getting on a train and walking into the wilderness where we can never see forever. So, is it survivor guilt? Is it thinking, oh, if only I could have found Jamie and Oscar and talked some sense into them, they'd be safe now and they'd be on Broadway and we'd be doing shows together? Well, that's not for me to decide. I just hope somehow, somewhere, because Oscar Long's body has never been found, there's no trace of him. The police believe he's dead. But I hold out hope. I hold out hope that somehow he is the world's greatest actor, which he is, and he somehow changed his looks and his appearance, and he's living in somebody's basement in Minnesota. And that one day he will reappear. Hi, Dora. Yeah, as I understand it, and I don't know a lot about it, his remains were never found. And it is a terrible, sad thing for his friends and family because the friends do not understand it. His wife didn't know anything about this. He had a young daughter, I believe. And the daughter and his wife had to leave New York and they moved back to Lincoln, Nebraska, because that's where Oscar's parents were, and she needed their support. She was sad and terrified. She lost the love of her life. And she was an actress as well. And in the process of moving out, I guess they found all the credit card bills and everything that he had hidden from her all those years. But I guess the reason that the police, as I understand it, think that he killed himself is that I guess they found evidence somehow of a train ticket that he purchased up into the wilds of New York. And it was a one-way ticket into a very remote place that would be very easy to walk off the train and just disappear. Actors are full of hubris and ego, and I just find it hard to think that that's the only way out. But I understand it. I've had those feelings myself, and I've written about it at bolesblogs.com. I was saved by a phone call from Marshall Jameson. I had the gun ready. So I understand the despair. I understand the disconnection. And I knew that Marshall Jameson's son had killed himself in Lincoln, Nebraska. And I was in New York, and I was sad and desperate. And then the phone rang. And it was Marshall Jameson. Calling from Florida just to see how I was doing. So, in 2014, I took up this idea. Where is Oscar? We need to find him. We need to keep him alive. We need to find proof of his life or proof of his death. And then, believe it or not, some of his friends and family got mad at me. Who are you to bring this up about Oscar? You're opening old wounds. I said, what old wounds? We don't know if he's alive or dead. Oh, we think he's dead. Well, how do you know? What if he's alive, stuck somewhere? What if he hit his head? What if he's being held captive? And if Oscar would, reach out to somebody and say, hey, I'm in hiding, leave me alone, okay, then we'll stop talking about it. But until we have proof of his death, I'm not dropping it. I'm going to keep Oscar alive. At least in a conversation. And I'm doing the same thing for Jameson Paul Musek, too. And now we're going to take a short break and come back, and we're going to remember Jamie and Oscar when they worked together on my show, the Westboro Crusaders. Yes, Dora, let me see if I can find that article. I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. Yeah, here's the article if you are interested in reading this. This is my article where Marshall called and saved my life with a phone call. Attempting death. Bolesblogs.com. Goes right to my handgun story that I told you the other day. Everything's related. Some of us are luckier than others, I guess. And with that, we'll be back in just a moment. And we are back from break. Thank you so much for being here on David Boles Live. And as I was thinking on the break, I'm reminded of a conversation that I had on Twitter, believe it or not, with a woman who we were very close for a couple of years. This is back in 2016. It seems like 6 months ago. And I had done a podcast episode called Does Disappeared Mean Murdered? This is my ongoing investigation into Oscar Long. And here's the little blurb about what it was about. Here are the stories of fellow Lincoln, Nebraskans, Wendy Heil, Oscar Long, and Gina Boss, all either murdered or presumed dead. We investigate what it means to go missing in the real world and how we deal with not knowing what happened to the murdered and the beloved around us. And I was very proud of this podcast. And this friend of mine listened to it, and she was very upset by it. And she talked to me privately on Twitter and said this was hit very close to home with her. She has a very close friend, and she said, I cannot give you any details about it because it's too upsetting to me. But the podcast meant a lot to her, and she wanted me to know how deeply it had affected her. And I thanked her very much for that. And so then I followed up that conversation with her in this: what happens to those left behind? The traumatized, the grieving. In this podcast follow-up, Does Disappeared Mean Murder?, we reflect on what it means to find success in storytelling, as we share a letter from a grieving stranger, my Twitter friend, who I won't name because I don't want to bring trouble to her. And she's disappeared now for a couple of years. It was just intense, and then people disappear. People disconnect. You think, oh, well, they're not here, but I know they're okay. But I don't know if she's okay or not. But I'm hoping she is. As we share a letter from a grieving stranger and shining an example of traumatic memory. I got to read the rest of this. In the example of Lieutenant Joe Kenda, who was a friend of ours and star of Homicide Hunter television show on Investigation Discovery. So those are a couple of other resources you can check out today. And now it's time to do a little bit of celebrating of some very talented people, some who are with us and some who are no longer with us. This is the Boles.com media page talking about the episode we're about to watch, Westboro Crusaders, Excelsior. Photographs of the cast, a link to the video. That's me and all my directing. All that equipment is from Cablevision, by the way. All borrowed. 1980s. Big glasses. All on videotape, not filmed. All on videotape. We had to purchase the videotape, which was very expensive. I think it was like $25 a cassette. And we used a lot of cassettes. And you'll see the quality of the video is not great because it's middle 80s Cablevision. But that's what it was. And here's the article at 17. He writes, directs, produces TV show, but he's not allowed to check out the equipment from Cablevision because he's too young. And we held auditions. It's a wonderful, wonderful story, a wonderful show. It was one of the delights in my life. I've had many, and that is one of them. And just in case if you're interested, here's David Boles scripts, boles.com/scripts. Here are all the scripts I've written that I share with you for reading or for production. Stage, television, here we go. Television, Weeping Water Cafe, we'll talk about that in the future. A Roseanne Speck script that I wrote. And here we go, in a whole section by itself, the Westboro Crusaders. All 8 script episodes. We only filmed 2. We should have done all 8. And we should have done it live. In studio with a set. Done show after show after show after show after show, just like they do on the soap operas. Because that's what it was. It was kind of a teenage soap opera. We should have done that. It would have saved a lot of money and a lot of time. We could have done all 8 episodes. But instead, we went on location. And the location is very difficult. You have audio issues, you have location issues, you have actor issues. But luckily, the actor and crew, everybody showed up. Which is very, very fortunate, especially when you're not paying anybody. Radio scripts, film scripts, it's all there. All there for your fun and your viewing. So we're about to watch now the Westboro Crusaders. And again, the quality is very old. The editing, I did myself. I directed and produced it. Greg Kubicek was cinematographer. 3 lead characters lead the show. And what I most like about it, I have to turn down the music now. What I most like about it is that it has become, as much as I don't like to say it, a memorial to Jamie Musak, who is one of the stars, and Oscar Long, who appeared, I believe, in both episodes. So even though they are either not with us or missing, they are still with us now. 40 years later, they are still with us live on videotape in the Westboro Crusaders. And now I think I've spoken enough. Whoops. So we need to go to this page. That is the video. Aha. And then I start the video, and I'll come back and give you a little more insight about what's going on and what happened. So I hope you enjoyed this. I think we've set the stage for what it is and what it is not. And I'm just going to roll it from the beginning so you can see what the production looks like and how it's all slated and how it was a part of the Cablevision world. This has won a Cable Ace Silver Spade Award for Best Community Programming in the region. It was really a big success. But we'll see what you think. Here we go.
The following program is presented in accordance with the public access requirement of the City of Lincoln. Cablevision is not responsible for the content of this program and does not necessarily agree with the views expressed. If you would like to express your views about this program, please address your comments to Cablevision, Program Director, Post Office Box 80019, Lincoln, Nebraska 68501.
Tape's rolling. $50. I need it, Ma.
What for?
Oops, never mind.
Oh, see, Dad. I thought he got in last night.
Dad, maybe he'll loan me the $50.
What's this $50 bit? You been eating right lately? Or are you overdosing on your newfound love of Italian cuisine? Testy?
Your father had to fly from Marshall, Denver to Des Moines.
Never around when you need him.
What's wrong?
Nothing. I was up late watching nothing, just skipping.
If there's something you need.
No, I'm fine. It's just, I'd like to talk to him sometimes.
You can talk to me anytime if you'll loan me $50.
Thanks, heaps.
Testy? I can always tell. When he's testy, he scrubs his teeth. 20 times across, 60 times up and down. 22 on the upper left, 21 on the upper right. We lost count. One side's cleaner than the other.
What?
This kid was up till 2 a.m. scouring his teeth. It's too weird even for me.
Look, big game tonight. Why don't you bet on the game? Then you'll win $50.
Who's playing?
Us on North Side.
The Barbarians used to be a bunch of fags.
Still are.
Not at the table, gentlemen.
It's true. Would I lie to my mother?
Fellows, I can tell when you're spoofing.
But it is true. In the game against Lakeshore, the whole team came on the field nude. Nobody could tell the difference.
Why's that?
The school colors.
Black.
And blue. I was tuned in the radio the other day, you know.
Looking for a job?
Yes. No, let me guess. You heard this wonderful new Italian recipe, and that's why you're eating lasagna and milk for breakfast.
Noper. I heard about a new car rental place. Gay rentals. Instead of walking, running, or flying, you skip through the airport.
That's a good one. Did you make it up yourself? I thought so.
Cruelly?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you here? I didn't hear a ring or a knock.
Oh, my arm.
How did you break it?
I didn't.
You didn't break it,
That's correct.
but it's in a cast.
Yes, ma'am.
Women, they get turned on by his macho toughness, or so he thinks. So that's why he puts his arm in fake casts. Don't even bother asking.
Why didn't you ring or knock?
Well, this is so hard, and I'm so strong, I would have shattered the glass.
Why didn't you ring?
Truly, that is a truly gory-looking thing. Better be careful, you might break somebody's back with it.
Yeah, right. So I decided not to knock. I looked for your doorbell for 30 minutes.
Did you try looking by the door?
Yuck, yuck, no doorbell.
That's odd. Was there Tuesday.
You keep running tabs on doorbells?
Only on Tuesdays.
Good, Mom. Crew, what are you talking about?
Hey, I don't know what's the matter. You ain't got no doorbell. That's all I know. Maybe there is some mad raving doorbell snatcher in your neighborhood.
Now you know why I need your $50.
Pucka, Fred, what are you talking about?
I did it. I took the doorbell.
Oh, great. We'll just start sending smoke signals when anybody wants in the house.
Where is the doorbell, Puck?
Better yet, why?
It was too ringy. You know, too chime sounding. I wanted to fix it.
Oh, and you fixed it so well that it doesn't work.
Not quite like it used to. Loan me $50.
First it's the egg timer, then the telephone, next this. Why?
He's a ding-dong.
Oh, good. Yeah, didn't even see that one coming. Tell us another one, Uncle Milty.
How are you getting to school?
Oh, I got Mom's motorcycle out front.
Great.
It takes 2 hands to drive one of those.
With Puck roaming free, it's lucky if we have a house in 30 minutes. If we're late, I'll spring for a telegram from Western Union. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, baby. How you doing? Where's Harper?
Andy's in the bathroom.
You seen Bergman?
No, Mike. Sorry, I haven't.
Excuse me. Hey, Bergman. We have some things to talk about. See you, baby.
Killed us twice on the way here, you know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, 3 if you count the guy on 42nd Street.
Oh, it's a miracle, isn't it?
Makes you appreciate life. Appreciate life.
Hey, man, I like the way you run out of school.
Scared, Bergman?
It's Bergie. Yeah, man, he belongs to the north side.
Yeah, Bergie, what you at Westboro for?
You're not a crusader, man. You're a barbarian.
Hey, Mike, knock it off, man. I got some stuff in my locker. We'll get smashed.
Later, man. No booze. I'm flying, man, off the stinking ground.
I have to get to class.
Well, be my guest, you barbarian, you. Step on my foot, man. Nobody steps on my foot.
Don't hurt me, Mike. Please don't hurt me.
Stick it, man. Sick of you.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
You hurt my foot. Now I'm gonna have to hurt your back. I hate people like you, Bergman.
The bell's gonna ring. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Shut up. Just shut up! I really hate you, Bergman.
Oh my God.
I don't believe this.
Oh, that's it. I'm pissed.
Get the bathroom.
Mother told me just to take it from you, Mike, but no more. Every day you punch me, or hit me, or call me names, but I'm not going to take it anymore. Not no more.
Hey, breathe. Don't get so upset, man. It's just a joke, that's all.
A joke? I'm bleeding. You call that a joke? I can't take it no more.
Put the damn knife down.
Don't say them words. I don't like when people say that.
Next, Julie, no! Next, Julie, no! Next, Julie, no! Next, Julie, no! Yeah, lay off! Knock it off, Mike, stop it!
I'll kill him, man. Nobody pulls crap like that with me.
You're an ass, Redson.
I thought things like this only happened in the movies.
Thank God nobody was killed.
Nobody was killed. You heard in a dream, but not your own high school. Maybe it was a dream.
I think, therefore I am. Redson must not be alive. He sure as hell doesn't think.
Gentlemen, we have had an event-filled day, but we do have deadlines. Mr. Taylor, I'd like to see your latest literary masterpiece.
It's not done yet. Don't yell.
Well, have it in tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be done by then.
Wait, laughing boy. Why the extra time? Are you sick?
All I had to worry about was your little article. I'd be a happy man. So I am happy anyway.
Hey, you haven't been this happy since the Beatles broke up.
I'm leaving Westboro.
You can't do that.
In order to be married. I think it's a good idea.
Married?
How could anybody stand to live with you? Compared to you, Felix Unger is Oscar the Grouch.
Is he a beetle?
We won't be able to make it without you.
There's no need for theatrics. Decision has been made, and I'm sure your little high school lives will thrive without me.
Who's the replacement?
Very interesting fellow I picked myself, Mr. Jeremy Bryant. He's moving here from Northeast High in Edgefield, South Carolina. 6-year man there.
This is going to be a challenge.
Of course it is. Now, if you gentlemen will excuse me, I have to make my pilgrimage to the library.
Hey, guy. I'm not dreaming.
Therefore, I I ask that you look beyond the alleged act and to the original cause. Look how Daniel Bergman was badgered, beaten, and made a mockery of.
Objection, Your Honor. We're not looking at the past or what the defendant had for breakfast. Instead, let's stick to the subject. Attempted assault with a deadly weapon.
How can you sit there and make a statement like that? Looking at the result and not the cause is senseless. All I'm trying to do is uncover the truth.
One crime at a time, Counselor.
Forgive me. It is incomprehensible that the learned prosecution deemed the events previous irrelevant.
I never said irrelevant. Just get down off your soapbox so we can get on with this trial.
This is not a trial. This is a hearing to find an acceptable solution to the problem. I've heard enough testimony and argument. Daniel, I've decided to place you in the Kerway Institute for Behavioral Studies, and then after improvement, we'll hold another hearing. A decision will then be made if you will return to Westboro or to another out-of-state high school.
How the hell can you do this? You call that justice? I was almost killed. Murdered. He's sick. Lock him up and keep him there until he dies or rots in hell. What's wrong with you anyway?
Mr. Redson, you're out of order. This case dismissed.
Who are you taking to homecoming?
Well, I was working on Katie, but...
Freshman from the golf team asked me.
Oh, yeah?
Or was it the track team?
Well, I hope it was a track team. Them golf women are wicked ladies.
Yeah. What are those?
Cigs.
Cigs?
Yeah, cigs.
I see. You don't smoke, Crew.
I know that.
Well, what's that in your mouth?
A cig.
I don't get it.
Look, I've smoked before. I can quit anytime I want. No problemo, eh, ape man?
Right. You're gonna be a chain smoker for 2 days, then quit.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go find Andy.
Okay.
If you get lung cancer while I'm gone, call.
Ah, funny.
Hey, Andy. Come over here and talk to me, man.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, you see Caterpillar?
I was gonna ask you the same thing. He's got the layouts. Yeah, what do you need him for?
Nothing. Really. The usual stuff, you know? Kruger and stuff.
Some people. You get why they can't throw their trash away. Only half a step away. It's lazy.
My wrapper, I put it there, I'm sorry.
You?
Yeah, I didn't mean to do it. Should have thrown it away.
No big deal. Maybe next time you'll remember.
It shouldn't have happened, man. I mean, it was wrong. I just lost control there. It's too late to change now. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you all.
You didn't hurt me, Stan. I never should have mentioned it.
But I have been, man. I have been. I mean, look at me, man. Look where I am, man. No place, man. No place. I mean, what good am I anymore? I mean, I don't help. God. Oof. That's what I am now.
Hey, Taylor.
What?
Come here.
Have you seen Andy?
Harper? Nah. Come here.
What?
I wanted to say sorry about what happened with Bergman. You know.
Don't tell me. Tell Bergie.
You like that fat pig?
Time for this.
Don't go.
What is it?
You seen Harrison?
Stan? I don't think so. See ya.
Wait. Stay.
What is it?
I'm going to the movies. You can come.
No thanks.
I got a joint.
What's the matter? No hard stuff?
No, man. This is really good stuff.
I got this guy who'll front me a pound. I sell, pay him back later.
What a pal.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to light it up.
White school.
I can't wait.
Neither can I, man. Hey, you feeling all right?
Oh, yeah, great.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm fine, fine. Yeah, just a little weird today. Well, you know how those days go.
Yeah, I know. You're certain you're feeling all right, though.
Fine, I'm fine. Just go on. I can handle it now. No big deal, just kind of lost a bit for a while, you know? Happens to everybody.
Hey, I have a spare trash can at home for cheap.
Oh, thanks, really. I'm fine. Hey, I hear you're going with Julie Taylor.
Who told you that?
I've got connections. How is she?
Fine. Why?
Hey, you don't know, do you? Julie and I went together for 3.5 years.
What?
Yeah, 3.5 years. God, she's beautiful. God, she's beautiful. You mean she didn't tell you?
Huh. Did hers know?
God, I hope so. I mean, I lived with him for 2 months over summer vacation. Hey, tell me, does she still wear that perfume? It smells like the early morning. You know, like dew on roses.
No, she's changed.
Yeah, haven't we all? Look, would you tell her hello for me? Please. I loved her with all my heart.
What happened?
Wish I knew. Ask her. And she used to smell so good. Hey, Andy.
Yeah.
When you find out, would you let me know?
Sure. No problem.
She used to smell so good. It's like the early morning. You know, like the dew on roses.
Blood red. Her favorite. Oh, Julie.
Finally! Where have you been?
Inside. I just talked to Stan.
Oh, how's it going?
Told me the weirdest story about Julie and him.
Oh, really?
Why didn't you tell me?
Why? Does it make a difference?
Yeah, it does. I feel cheated.
It's dumb. It must not have mattered to Julie. Well, why do you care? She likes you now anyway.
Yeah, does she? Does she really?
You know that, Andy. God, you always overreact to everything.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, sometimes.
This is just great. You hate me. Julie likes Stan. Who likes Andy? No one. Not even the family dog.
Oh, there. That's exactly what I mean. Always jumping to conclusions.
Hurry up! Slow down! Why?
I think I might be falling in love. I don't want to get hurt.
Nobody does. To grow, you have to hurt. I mean, it's like bodybuilding. To get power and mass, you have to tear some muscle. And then when it grows back, you've got...
Scar tissue.
Yeah.
Not very pretty.
No, but it's strong. It can hurt like hell sometimes. Just like love. But after the hurt...
Hey, did you forget something?
I'm gonna buy a paper doll that I can call my own, that other little fellows cannot steal. And all those flirty guys.
Oh, God, he's singing in the tree. Hey, guy.
What's with him?
Cigarettes rot the mind, turn to mush.
I kicked the habit.
What? New warning from the Surgeon General or something?
No, Cupid. I was sitting over here and Katie was walking home and she saw me smoking. What'd you do, blow in her face? No, she loved it. She thought it made me look tough, like Bogart. So she gave me 3 dozen cookies and told me to meet her here after school tomorrow so I could go smoke on the floor.
Isn't that what you wanted?
I thought so. I threw them away. What'd you do with the wrapper? Put it in the garbage can. Why? Good.
Where are the cookies?
I ate them. 3 dozen cookies? Hey, give me a break. I was kicking the habit at the time.
Oh, God, let's get to raking. Why I did this, I'll never know. Cost me $16 in toilet paper alone.
Hey, so I told you, plain label is cheaper, but no, you had to have perfume. No. Please, don't mention perfume. What's the complaint? So we got caught. So we have to clean it up. So we have to pay a $50 fine. But we made the front page of today's paper.
The price of fame.
The price of success. The price is right, Gads.
Thank you, Bob Barker. Come on.
Give me a rake or something. Put this forever.
Yes, I'd like to send a dozen roses. Yeah, blood red. To Julie from, pardon? Last name. Look, never mind. Not right now. Maybe later. After some things change.
The preceding program was produced for airing at this time on LCSP, Lincoln Community Service Programming. In accordance with local franchise agreements, Cablevision must provide a local origination channel for community programming use. Cablevision does not necessarily agree with the views expressed within these programs, nor is it responsible for the program content. If you have any questions about LCSP or about programming here at Cable Channel 10, please contact us at Cablevision, 390 North Cotner, Lincoln, Nebraska, 68505. This is LCSP, Lincoln Community Service Programming.
And there you have it. History being made. The Westboro Crusaders. That must have been, what, 1981? 82? Mainly filmed on location. Lincoln Northeast was the main school. The dark scenes, I believe that was Lincoln High. The establishing outside shots of that beautiful home, that was Jamie Musak's house. And we invaded there, and his parents were very kind to us, and they fed us well. And you look, and you realize a lot of those places and people have changed, or they're gone, or they've been modified or removed. And it makes you think back. When you were that young and the whole world was set before you, and every opportunity was yours for the taking. And there was a time back then where you could be super creative and perhaps even daring. And you came up with an idea, hey, let's all get together and put on a show. And by golly, we did. Gary Ielts, who played the older gentleman with the... lived in Omaha. And he heard about us, and he was a very well-known paid actor in Omaha. And he said, I would love to do your show. I said, what? You're a famous actor in Omaha. I can't pay you anything. Thank you, Dora. I appreciate that. You're a wonderkind. And what happens to the wonderkind when they become old? They become oldkin. But that's all right. A lot of very fond memories. Really, it's shocking that we were able to get that done. What a summer that was. But nobody really lost their temper. Everybody showed up. We were all kind of in this together. It had never, ever been done before in Lincoln, Nebraska. Where a bunch of kids got together and said, we're going to put on a show. Now, I sort of wish that we had then gone back to Cablevision and said, look, we did episodes 4 and 8. Let's do episodes 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7 in studio, and we can shoot it all, in a week. Or we could have a live show every week and record it. That would have been fun. And then the 4th episode and the 8th episode would have been this on-location stuff that we did that was very interesting and very creative and very difficult to get done. So Gary Ielts was this world-famous actor living in Omaha, wanted to be in the show, read about it in the newspaper, called me, and I said, wow. Okay. I said, but I don't have any money. I could maybe, pay you some money from gas money, but you're coming from Omaha, which was 50 miles away from Lincoln, and so it takes you about an hour to get there, an hour to get back home. And Gary said, don't worry about it. I don't want your money. I just want to be in the show. I said, okay. and Gary Iltz drove from Omaha to Lincoln at least 10 times, there and back, just to be in this little kid's show. It's really amazing. Now, it didn't look like Oscar Long was in that episode. He must be in episode 8, because he was in all the photographs of the cast. And Oscar kind of helped behind the scenes too, so he was everywhere. But Jamie was in that episode quite a lot. And that, Jamie was not acting. What you saw there, the fun, raw, obnoxious kid on the motor scooter thing, that was Jamie Musak. That's who he is. And that is who he was, and that is who, for many of us, he will always be. Fun, wacky Jamie. So this has been a very interesting live stream. We've talked about the live theater. We've talked about the passing of some of our friends and some who have gone missing. We talked about the wonder of technology and paying for transportation. We have wondered about the future of COVID and coming together as a community in order to keep the idea of living and life alive and moving. And we have shared some personal introspections. And we wonder about what we're doing here and what the meaning of life is. And what we can do to continue to propagate the goodness of not just our souls, but the souls of those around us. And that pretty boy you saw in there, the guy with the big muscles and the muscle shirt, that's Kevin. Kevin Simonson. He's the one who, hey, Kevin. Hey, Dave. No, you can't say that. 10 years after the show. Not done. Not Nebraska. Not the cold shoulder. Not that. It's just that you have to be proper. You have to play by the rules. And now that I'm older, I would run up to Kevin and give him a big hug and a big kiss, and I would never let him go. Because I'm not part of that community anymore. That coldness, that distance, that Fargo murder for hire. Not a part of me. So I'm always interested in what you have to say and what you'd like to know. I love it when you're here with me in live chat, saying hello. Please subscribe to David Boles Live. Go to Boles.tv and click on the subscribe button and join us. You can ask me questions on Twitter at David Boles, Facebook /Boles, Instagram Boles Books, YouTube Boles Blues. I'm here for you. I'm ready for you. We have a lot to talk about and a lot of places to go together. Tomorrow, I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Jana Marie will be here with us. It'll be Thanksgiving in America. We're going to show you a little bit of magic combined with ASL, combined with New York City, combined with us sharing part of our day with you. And we look forward to that very much. So please be in touch. Please let us know what you're thinking. And always take care of yourself. And if you're not feeling well, if you're concerned, if you feel like you might do a little bit of self-harm, or you feel desperate and you want to run away and disappear, reach out to somebody. Say hello to a stranger across the room. Find an old friend. Just reconnect. You don't have to say anything. Just the act of reconnecting will make a difference. Until tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, I'm David Boles. Thank you for being with me.